You can support In the Past Lane by telling your friends about the podcast. Studies show that one of the top ways that people find new podcasts is by word of mouth. So please, talk it up. Thanks.
Whoa, hit the brakes. You've arrived at the #1 drive-by for American history. Welcome to The Pit Stop. Brought to you by In the Past Lane, the podcast about history and why it matters. Here's Edward T. O'Donnell, your host and historian at large.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Pit Stop, your Monday source for history on the go in just about 5 minutes. We offer this mini feature every Monday, in addition to our full feature episodes, where I talk to historians about their latest works. Here's what happened in American history the week of August 5th, 2019. Let's start with birthdays. August 6, 1911, that's the birthday of actor and comedian Lucille Ball, who was born in Jamestown, New York. Lucille Ball once said, "The secret of staying young is to live honestly, eat slowly, and lie about your age." August 6 is also the birthday of artist and countercultural icon Andy Warhol, who was born August 6, 1928 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Andy Warhol once said, "Don't pay attention to what they write about you. Just measure it in inches." August 7, 1890 is the birthday of labor leader Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, who was born in Concord, New Hampshire. Flynn was a major figure in the labor movement in the late 19th and early 20th century. She once said, "History ultimately passes judgment on tyrants and vindicates those who fought for human freedom." August 11, 1921 is the birthday of writer Alex Haley, who was born in Ithaca, New York. Haley grew up to be a journalist and an editor, working for publications like Reader's Digest and Playboy magazine. In 1965, he published the autobiography of Malcolm X, a book which earned him wide acclaim. But his most notable work was Roots, a novel published in 1976 that was based on his family's history going all the way back to Africa. It was later turned into a TV series viewed by record audiences. Okay, what about events? August 6, 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. 2 days later, it dropped a second bomb on the city of Nagasaki. Over 150,000 Japanese civilians were killed in the blasts, and hundreds of thousands would die in the coming years and decades from the effects of radiation exposure. August 6, 1965, President Lyndon Baines Johnson, with Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King at his side, signed the Voting Rights Act into law. August 7, 1794, farmers in western Pennsylvania, angry over a tax on whiskey imposed by Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton, revolt against the U.S. government, launching what became known as the Whiskey Rebellion. August 8, 1969, 50 years ago this week, followers of the cult leader Charles Manson invaded the home of actress Sharon Tate. They killed Tate, who was nearly 9 months pregnant, and 4 other people who were in the home. The murders shocked the nation and made Charles Manson into an iconic celebrity criminal. Incidentally, this bloody incident is at the center of a new film by Quentin Tarantino, titled Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. August 9, 1974, President Richard M. Nixon resigned from office in the midst of the Watergate scandal. Okay, time for the last word. Let's give it to Alex Haley, who was born 98 years ago this week. Here's what he said about writing. "Many a young person tells me he wants to be a writer. I always encourage such people. But I also explain that there's a big difference between being a writer and writing. In most cases, these individuals are dreaming of wealth and fame, not the long hours alone at the typewriter. You've got to want to write, I say to them, not want to be a writer. The reality is that writing is a lonely, private, and poor-paying affair. For every writer kissed by fortune, there are thousands more whose longing is never requited. Even those who succeed often know long periods of neglect and poverty. I did." Okay, people, that's your history fix for the week. Now put it in drive and go make your own history.